August 6th, 1945. It is 8:14 in the morning. In the city of Hiroshima, Japan, 350,000 people are starting their day. Children are walking to school, mothers are cooking breakfast, fathers are heading to work, soldiers are reporting for duty. It is a Monday morning, a normal Monday morning. The sky is clear and blue, the sun is warm, everything is peaceful. But somewhere high above the clouds, a plane is flying toward the city. And in that plane is something the world has never seen before, something that will change everything in exactly 1 minute. But before we begin, if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is David, and this is David Explains, the channel where we learn English through real and powerful stories. Subscribe so you never miss one. Now, let us get into today's story. To understand what happened that morning, we need to go back a few years. Back to the beginning of World War II. The year is 1939. The world is at war. Germany is conquering Europe, Japan is conquering Asia, and the United States is watching, waiting. Then on December 7, 1941, Japan attacked the American naval base at Pearl Harbor. Without warning, without a declaration of war, 2,400 Americans were killed in a single morning, and America entered the war. For the next 4 years, American and Japanese forces fought brutal battles across the Pacific Ocean, island by island. Battle by battle, the fighting was fierce, the losses were enormous, and Japan refused to surrender. Meanwhile, in secret laboratories across America, something extraordinary was being built. A weapon unlike anything in human history. It was called the Manhattan Project. Thousands of scientists worked on it, in total secrecy. For years, they were building a bomb. Not an ordinary bomb, an atomic bomb. A bomb powered by splitting atoms. A bomb so powerful that a single one could destroy an entire city. On July 16, 1945, in the desert of New Mexico, the scientists tested their creation. The explosion was blinding. The heat was unimaginable. A mushroom cloud rose 12 kilometers into the sky. The lead scientist, Robert Oppenheimer, watched the explosion and quietly said, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." He knew. He knew what they had created. He knew what it would do. The decision was made. President Harry Truman gave the order the atomic bomb would be dropped on Japan to end the war quickly and completely. 4 cities were considered as targets. Hiroshima was chosen. It was a major military city, a port, a headquarters, home to 350,000 people, and it had never been bombed before, which meant the damage could be clearly measured, clearly studied. The people of Hiroshima had no idea. They were simply living their lives. Now we go back to that Monday morning, August 6th, 1945. 8:14 a.m. A 12-year-old boy named Hirano is standing in his schoolyard with his classmates. The morning assembly has just begun. He looks up at the sky. It is clear, beautiful. Then he sees something. A single silver plane flying high above, gleaming in the morning sun. He stares at it. Something feels different. Something feels wrong. But he does not know why. 8:15 a.m. The plane is called the Enola Gay, a B-29 bomber. The bomb bay opens, and a single bomb falls. It is called Little Boy, a uranium bomb, equivalent to 15,000 tons of TNT. It falls for 44 seconds, 44 long seconds, and then a flash, brighter than the sun. A heat wave of 7,000 degrees Celsius, moving faster than sound. Everything within half a mile is instantly vaporized, gone. Not destroyed, not burned. Gone, as if it never existed. The shockwave spreads outward. Buildings collapse like paper. Windows shatter for miles. a giant mushroom cloud rises, 12 kilometers into the sky, visible from every direction. And then silence. Where there was once a city, there is now nothing. Just fire, just smoke, just ash. 70,000 of 76,000 buildings destroyed in a single second. And the people. 80,000 people killed instantly. In 1 second, in one single second. Young Hirano in his schoolyard was knocked off his feet. The sky turned black. He could not see, he could not hear, he could not breathe. When he finally opened his eyes, the world he knew was gone. He described what he saw next as something no human being should ever see. People walking with their arms stretched forward, their skin burned and hanging off their bodies, their eyes melted, their clothes gone. Walking silently, like ghosts, not screaming, just walking, because they were in too much pain to scream. 90% of all doctors and nurses in Hiroshima were killed or injured in the blast. 42 of the city's 45 hospitals destroyed. There was no help, there was no rescue, there was only suffering. Then came the black rain, a dark radioactive rain falling from the mushroom cloud. People ran to rivers to cool their burns. They drank the water, not knowing it was poisoned with radiation. In the days and weeks that followed, thousands more died from radiation sickness, from burns, from injuries. By the end of 1945, 140,000 people were dead. From one bomb. One single bomb. 3 days later, on August 9th, a second bomb was dropped. This time on the city of Nagasaki. Another 74,000 people killed. In an instant. Japan surrendered on August 15, 1945. World War II was over. But the story was not over, not for the survivors. The people who lived through the bombs were called Hibakusha, which means explosion affected people. They survived the blast, but they spent the rest of their lives fighting radiation sickness, fighting cancer, fighting discrimination. Because people were afraid to touch them, afraid the radiation would spread. A woman named Reiko was 11 years old, sitting in her school playground, when she looked up and saw the silver plane. She thought the vapor trail it left was beautiful. And then, everything went dark. She survived, but she carried the memory for the rest of her life. Today there are around 200,000 Hibakusha still alive. Most of them are in their 80s and 90s, and they have spent their entire lives telling the world one thing. Never again. Never again should any human being experience what we experienced. One survivor named Michiko said, "When I experienced the bomb, there were only 3 nuclear weapons in the world. Now there are 12,700. And that thought keeps me awake at night." So now you know the story of Hiroshima, a city of 350,000 people, a clear blue sky, a Monday morning, and one bomb. One bomb that killed 80,000 people in a single second. One bomb that ended a world war. One bomb that started a nuclear arms race. One bomb that changed the world forever. The mushroom cloud over Hiroshima is the most powerful image in human history, not because of what it destroyed, but because of what it reminds us, that human beings are capable of unimaginable things, and that we must always choose wisely. Thank you for listening. Practice these words again tomorrow and come back for the next story.